one point that we wanted to emphasize is that we obtained this information on the public record on March 6th, and our deadline for filing this contention was March 9th. And so we did our best in the 3 days that we had to file as much information as possible. And when we were challenged by both the NRC staff and the applicant, we included more information that we hoped would answer their questions on our April 10th filing. Again, the data will not be provided by the company until September 9th, so we don't see the rush to reject this contention outright, as we seem to be hearing here. I just wanted to emphasize that during the construction of Fermi 3, that the very quarrying activity of digging that foundation will affect the hydrological flows at the site. And there are interrelationships between quarrying activities, not only at the Fermi site, but throughout Monroe County, that are influencing the hydrological flows. And so that needs to be kept in mind. I wanted to just...
Would that have a permanent effect or just during construction? I mean, are you raising a concern that the hydrology that was described on the potential release path would no longer be accurate?
Well, the most significant change will be when institutional control is lost at some point in the perhaps distant future, and any radioactive contamination of the Fermi site bound to chelates could then be carried into groundwater that would then flow towards the lake. And so the drinking water supply of Lake Erie itself, in intercommunication with the sole source aquifer, would then be more at risk than during institutional control, because the flow towards the quarries, as is indicated, is away from the lake in the present. But our concern, as we indicated in our initial filing, is not near-term only concerns. It's also very long-term concerns, because the half-lives of these radioactive contaminants are very long. They have very long hazardous persistence.
Is this a residual amount of radiation that's left over after decommissioning, or I'm not sure I'm understanding A, the time frame you're speaking to, and B, the source.
Well, we didn't focus only on the hypothetical that the company raised. We were concerned about the entire site. And for instance, one recent incident at Fermi 1 during the decommissioning in 2007, the release, I mentioned it in the filings, thousands of gallons of radioactively contaminated water, including tritium, that was spilled at the Fermi 1 site. These are the kinds of radioactive leaks and spills, and even routine discharges, because there is permission from the Nuclear Regulatory Commission for ongoing routine releases into the air, which can then fall out through radioactive decay into biologically active isotopes like cesium and strontium, and also liquid discharges. So these are our concerns, that especially when bound with chelates, that accelerates their flow.
Okay.
Just a couple more points.
Okay.
The significance of this issue is that the company admits that one of the effluent concentration limits would be exceeded 5,000-fold, so we're very concerned about that. They mentioned that a dozen radionuclides would violate ECLs altogether. Regarding rejecting the EPA letter, it is a part of the EIS proceeding that our various parties were involved with. This was filed as part of the February 9th deadline for environmental scoping. So it was available to the NRC staff directly, and the company by being involved in that proceeding as well. And I wanted to mention that, taking credit for a steel liner on concrete, we have seen recent examples of the failure of steel liners at Beaver Valley, Pennsylvania, with the reactor containment itself, and similarly at Oyster Creek, New Jersey, a corrosion of the radiological containment barrier. These are, in that particular hypothetical, we are concerned about leaking in that particular system, but our concern is more extensive than that, to the whole site. And my final point is just that, again, the reason that we raised these documents from 1980, the letter from Kay Dry, who's on the board of Beyond Nuclear, to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission, as well as the science article from the same time frame, these were concerns that were raised to the NRC decades ago, and that we still feel are inadequately addressed even in the present day, as we've seen, unfortunately, in this proceeding. And we raised this documentation as a response to NRC's challenges to our contention.